Hey, how are y'all doing? And I just wanted to say um, that I'm gonna be talking about is 2025 and just life in general and stuff like that, and my like spiritual perspective when it comes to certain things. Because I feel like we're coming into a new shift, a new time period, and we're coming into a new age of awareness, spirituality, and also a more genuine type of unconditional type of love and the frequency that we're coming into. And I feel like a lot of times when we're going through these transformations and these spirits and these, different dimensions, and we're going through this, we need to understand is that the only reason we're going through this is because for us to get what we call enlightenment, for us to get what we call, internal peace. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that plays a big part in this lifetime. You have an internal peace and you working on yourself, that's the only thing that can get you to that higher self, that can get you to that next dimension, that can get you to a higher perspective on life. And I think that plays a really big part in how we live our life, because a lot of times we see a lot of people that are in trauma, that is in a lot of pain, that is in a lot of suffering, and you could tell that what they've been through really I'm sorry, really affected, somebody, and really affected the person, because I think that plays a big part in this society where a lot of times we gotta realize is that most of the people you see with a lot of trauma and a lot of healing they have to do, they all have something in common. And what I noticed is that what they have in common is that they're very, very, you could tell that their soul is very broken. And I think that when your soul is broken, it's going to be hard to pick up those pieces and pick up those reality checks, to pick up those healing process, to pick up those, you know, different perspectives when you're going through things. And I think now people are going through things more than ever. Um, and I think that a lot of 2025 is going to be a lot of rebirth and a lot of transformation and a lot of new consciousness coming in that can really help that trauma, that can really help that, that trauma bond or that issues, because I feel like when we're going through a spiritual awakening, when we're going through things, when we're going through different experiences in life, when it comes to spirituality, I think it's going to play a big part in society, and I think it's going to play a big part in how we see the world. Because we got to realize is that a lot of times we might see the world as something dark or something bad. We got to realize that when it comes to good and bad, those are illusions that we give, because nothing is good and nothing is bad. We got to realize to stay neutral on things, have a balance on things, because a lot of times we feel like the illusions that we are processing, the illusion that we have, some illusions are there for distraction, but some illusions that you have and the distractions you have, some of them are signs and warnings to what's to come. You know, a lot of times we got to realize that a lot of things that come into our life and come into our lifespan is all about the perspective that we have eternal when it comes to ourselves, when it comes to who we are truly, that when it comes to who we are building on our type of level. You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like that plays a big part in society itself. You becoming who you truly are, you finding that purpose, you finding, that soul urge, that soul type of purpose that puts you at a different stature than everybody else. But I feel like if we're not helping, if we're not gaining people this knowledge, if we're not helping people become their true self, what's the point of even trying to, gain any knowledge if you're not willing to help somebody else? If you're not willing to say, hey, I know this, so let me teach you this. You know what I'm saying? And I think that plays a big part in helping people and trying to take care of people. And I think 2025 is going to play a big part in that as well. I think there's going to be a lot of more destruction. There's going to be a lot more of, distractions, bigger ones than we ever seen before. But I think there's all going to be a lesson learned from every distraction that we get. I think that plays a big part in life, and I think that plays a big part in what we call this consciousness, because we got to realize is that the consciousness that we have is not just a brain. It's not just, this is something that you could do anything with. This is something that you can be the most smartest individual with your subconscious and consciousness. But we got to realize to balance out the two. You know, a lot of times we don't realize that when we're in our subconscious, we're in the spiritual, our consciousness upgrade that. That's like a pack a punch. You know what I'm saying? That's like an upgrade when we're doing the spiritual thing, when we're like really like activating our health, activating who we truly are. Our consciousness plays a big part in that. And I think whoever is doing that and trying to be better and trying to reach that higher self level is an amazing individual, because it takes a lot of practice and it takes a lot of discipline to even go through those steps, right? And I think that in 2025, what's going to happen is that it's going to be more of a pack a punch. It's going to be more of people trying to help each other out. But we have to understand a lot is we trying to help people, or people are trying to, but how can you help somebody if you don't know the proper steps to take? And I think that when you are spiritual and you have a purpose on this planet, that makes it easier, because I feel like when you have a purpose, everything lines itself up, everything goes within, everything is one, it's all in one, which is unity consciousness. So I feel like if one person can help, everybody can help. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times we are coming into that existence, we are coming into that space, we are coming into that realm where we can help each other and help each other grow as individuals and help each other grow as people, because I think that plays a big part in life itself. So when we are doing these things, when we're advocating for ourselves, when we're, having, you know, and good intentions with ourselves, I think that really plays a big part in 2025. And I think that a lot of physical things are going to happen when it comes to celebrities. And I think it's going to be a lot with billionaires as well, since we're coming into artificial intelligence. And we got to understand is that when we're coming into artificial intelligence, we got to realize that artificial intelligence is more of a spiritual aspect as well. We got to understand is that the game that they're playing, we can play this game, but I want to promise you, be careful the game you playing and how to maneuver in the game. You know what I'm saying? Don't become the game. Don't get controlled by the game. Try to maneuver through the game to make yourself and make sure who you're around, family, friends, relationship is comfortable spiritually, mentally, and physically. Because 2025 is going to be that type of year where there's going to be a lot of changes and a lot of rebirths. So I think anything that is supposed to transpire or anything that is going to transpire, always be prepared spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I just wanted to say that, and I hope y'all have an amazing day. And I'm out.